It's the Isaiah Grass Show wherever you are.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to IGMP TV. I'm your host, Isaiah Grass, introducing great media people like you on the Isaiah Grass Show. Today's guest is an American actress, comedian, and ventriloquist who's been featured on Entertainment Tonight, The Wendy Williams Show, and My Strange Addictions. Please welcome April Brucker. April, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your amazing talent.
Thank you for having me, and thank you to everybody on IGMP TV for watching.
Absolutely. We are so happy to have you here. So, April, you have been seen all around the world on the TV show My Strange Addictions for your love of collecting puppets. For our listeners that are just hearing about you today, what inspired you to become a ventriloquist? And did you ever think you'd be where you are today in your career?
Well, when I was growing up in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, which is right outside of Pittsburgh, I grew up without cable. I had a huge imagination as a kid, and so in middle school, we finally got cable. Yay. And as we got cable, I was telling my dad to talk to the hand, talk to the hand. And he said, April, you can't make a living telling people to talk to the hand. So, anyway, fast forward, we're watching TV one Friday night, and my dad changes the channel. There's an Edgar Bergen TV special on. And for those of you that don't know, Edgar Bergen was a famous ventriloquist. And the rest of my family members tried to talk like the ventriloquist on the special. And these were Jeff Dunham, Ron Lucas, and I had my great grandmother's sideways Irish smile. So I was the only one that could do it. And that Christmas, my mother got me a Groucho Marx puppet under the tree. So she could talk to the hand. Okay, Mr. Hand, thank you. Give her a hand. Okay, that was lame. You wrote it. Okay, this is what I gotta live with all the time, all the time.
Well, it has obviously paid off for you tremendously. Growing up as a kid, I can imagine you had quite the imagination. Did you ever join any theater groups or talent shows to let people see your talent? I bet you were the life of the party wherever you went, right?
Actually, I was kind of a shy kid. I was an oddball. I always wrote, loved Sesame Street. As a matter of fact, I won several writing awards in high school. I did a local column in high school. My mom still has everything I ever wrote. I wish she'd burn it, to be honest. It's so bad. But I was in a lot of I did community theater. I was in the high school plays. I played every evil fairy tale woman possible. Believe it or not, I had the monopoly on the evil fairy tale women. And I was on public access television. I had a show called April Talk where I talk to people like you are now, but I'm not as good as you are. Then I had a show called April Rock where I interviewed local bands. And then I had a show called Storytime with April and Friends where I sent my DVDs up to public access stations all over the world. And I feel like that was the beginning. And then I was on My Strange Addiction, obviously. And then I was in the UK Daily Mail. And the cool thing about My Strange Addiction is because of streaming, it's all over the world. And I'm on the banner. And I'm on the banner of My Strange Addiction, and people see me all the time. And so I just feel like, everything I've done is a stepping stone to where I'm going now.
You talked about you being very shy and an oddball as a young kid. Do you have any friends that are contacting you that maybe weren't your friends before, but now they are your friends? Or do you have groupies or people that, maybe didn't support what you did before, but now they've seen where your career has gone and now they're like, hey, how are you doing today? Oh, you
Well,
remember me?
yes, and actually, my mom is 90% of the reason I'm doing what I'm doing. My dad, my brother, my sister too, but my mom, I talk to my mom every day. But, there have been groupies and there have been people that said it would never happen, but now here they are. That happens all the time. But enough about her. Let's talk about moi. April didn't tell me that you would be so handsome, Isaiah Grass.
What is your name?
My name is May, like the month, and Wilson, May Wilson.
That is very clever. There's April and May. That I see where you did with that.
I thought of it. April takes all the credit, but I thought of it. And let me tell you, I always knew that I was going to be a star, and everybody before I came in the picture said, April, you are going nowhere. But oh my gosh, now you are with me. And actually, but before that, I always talk about being engaged to my ex who made me choose between me and the puppets. Loser. Okay, May, I know that you don't like him. But anyway, for an entire year, I put May under the bed because I chose him, Isaiah. And let me tell you, I collected bugs and not the fun kind like Kim Kardashian has. Okay. And anyway, so the relationship got worse. I was the only one that was surprised. Dummy. And I look at you, May. I got you out from under the bed and I said, May, I miss you. And I said, April, you know what you have to do. So we marched into the kitchen and May was on my arm. And I looked at him and I said, Excusez-moi, April has chosen, and she has chosen the puppets. Sayonara, dummy. Yeah, I dumped him with May on my arm. And so we spent every hour that God sent, and then we ended up on My Strange Addiction and in the UK Daily Mail. And let me tell you this. I love being on My Strange Addiction. And I got April on Hulu. May. I got us on Hulu. No. I got us on Hulu. May. There's no I in team, but there's a me. And as a matter of fact, if you go to My Strange Addiction, you see the banner and you see me on the banner. No. You see me on the banner. I got April on the banner. Okay. Now Isaiah's looking very confused, and that's your fault.
I gotta say, this is my first time ever talking to a puppet who's definitely got quite a personality, and I can see how you guys showcase each other in a great way. One of you has the confidence, and one of you has the jokes, and both of you have the beauty. So thank you so much, May, for
I
being
just
here.
want to say, Isaiah, it's textile American, but because you're so adorable, I'll let that slide. But go on.
How did you and April have your first opportunity to perform on stage or perform on TV? And how are you prepared for that? You know, if you've never been in the entertainment business and someone just throws you on camera, they don't talk about it, but people get stage fright. Did you get stage fright, May?
Never got stage fright. You see, I grew up in Pocatello, Idaho, Isaiah, okay? And I lived in a trailer and I was just a poor sock. But every night before bed, I looked at Anna Nicole Smith, the picture that I had next to my bed, and I said, someday I will get breast implants, my own reality show, and a sugar daddy. So all things are possible. And so anyway, April and I are at our first gig together. And the MC says, how should I introduce you? And I said, introduce me as April Brucker. And I said, treat me as you would any show business legend.
Multi-talented April Brucker is an American actress, author, comedian, recording artist, and television personality. Growing up in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, April spent more than a decade performing in New York City at cabarets, comedy clubs, and off-Broadway shows. Now residing in fabulous Las Vegas, April headlines at casinos, clubs, and theaters in the city of entertainment, including a 9-month engagement as the special guest star in a classic Vegas revue. April is known to television viewers as that puppet girl on My Strange Addiction, the TLC series seen on major streaming platforms worldwide. Her TV credits also include Entertainment Tonight, Judge Jerry, Secret Restoration, What's My Secret, What Would You Do, and many more. April earned her Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in acting at New York University's Tisch School and a Master of Fine Arts degree in creative writing and screenwriting from Antioch University, Los Angeles. She is the author of Don't Read My Lips and I Came, I Saw, I Sang. As the host of April in Vegas, a streaming TV chat show produced on location at the English Hotel in the Las Vegas Arts District, April has established herself as a captivating presence both on screen and on stage. The Las Vegas Review-Journal called her the ventriloquial vixen. Broadway World said April is America's foremost female ventriloquist. And The Wrap, covering Hollywood, said April is sweet, adorable, with a hint of insanity. Her unique blend of humor, charisma, and ventriloquism has resonated well with audiences worldwide. April Brucker adding a fresh and unforgettable experience to today's entertainment landscape.
Welcome back to IGMP TV. I'm your host, Isaiah Grass, introducing great media people like you on the Isaiah Grass Show. We are talking to April Brucker, known from the TV show Strange Addictions. Now, April, over the years, there's been a lot of press talking about your puppet collections and the thousands of dollars you've spent on them. I know you said you consider them like children. So how many puppets do you own as of today? What type of maintenance do they require? And are you planning on having any more?
Yes, I have 38 puppets.
Okay.
And the maintenance, there's the nails. She has to have some nails replaced because, and they have to have weaves, special suitcases, parts. Yes, I'm always planning on having more. And I'm getting some new clothes because I have a new project, Isaiah. That's right. You know the series Fallout, right? And you know
Yes.
the song I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire? Well, May is in the studio right now with the world famous Ink Spots, re-recording That's the Way It Is. And it was originally sang by them and Ella Fitzgerald, and I love Ella Fitzgerald. And if she was here right now, I'd say, Ella Fitzgerald, what are you doing here? You've been dead for a few years. Okay, May. But anyway, I'm sure Ella Fitzgerald will get a kick out of you. Of course, because she knows that you do not have red M&Ms in the dressing room. Okay. So, but yes, May is doing a song with the world famous Ink Spots called "That's the Way It Is," and the concept is it's a showgirl and a guy that fall in love. You mean Las Vegas Review star? Get it right. You see, Isaiah, I have to watch her every step of the way. Every step of the way. I am telling you. I can't work under these conditions. Okay, April. May. We talked about this, okay? But that's the way it is. It's the world famous Ink Spots in May. And the world famous Ink Spots, I mean, this is a pleasure because my grandfathers were servicemen. They listened to them. And it's like, you get to be part of the Great American Songbook. Of course I do, because I am a great American. I look in the mirror and there are 3 great Americans that I think of: George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and May Wilson.
Tell me about your experience being on the TV show What Would You Do? And how did people react when they saw you and May on the streets? Was it hard to stay in character when strangers were coming up to you? Were you nervous or excited? I mean, everybody knows on that show, What Would You Do? You never know what people are going to expect, right?
Actually, it was a lot of fun. The actress that was on the bench was the homeless woman was an actress, and so she was there. The cameras are set up, and May, you were making fun of her. Yes, I was. And all of a sudden, this doorman is having a cigarette. He's not supposed to be on break. He comes out and he goes, "Stop making fun of the homeless woman." And I say, "It's not me, it's her." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, well, when the cops come, they're going to arrest both of you." So John Quinones from What Would You Do comes out with the camera crew. And this doorman is yelling and screaming. And he goes, "Stop making fun of the homeless lady." And they're like, "The homeless lady's an actor." So he almost didn't talk on camera. He had to have his stress cigarette, but he talked on camera. And it was nice to know that there was that New Yorkers or anybody in general, that there are good people everywhere in the world. And it was a great experience. And I got to be on primetime television, which is a good place for moi. And, but then a few weeks later, you were in the UK Daily Mail. That's right. And we went viral from England to Iceland to Italy, then from Russia to China to India, then from Ghana to Nigeria to Kenya, then from Australia to Singapore to Indonesia, then from Colombia to Brazil to Guatemala. That's right, Isaiah. I am a celebrity in Guatemala. And you es muy guapo.
May, I gotta be honest, I've never had a puppet hit on me before, but I feel so flattered.
There's a first time for everything, I guess. And Isaiah, I just want to say that I'm a superstar and you're the most handsome man that has interviewed me today.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I love the fact that you have embraced your talent as a ventriloquist and you can create so many characters. Do you feel that earning your degree in fine arts and taking acting classes help you to create them? Or did you naturally have all of them in your head and now you're just wondering, like, what do I do next? How long does it take you to create a character?
Well, the way I come up, well, it takes a while, and all my characters, believe it or not, have bios. They have first and last names. They have personal objects. Like I go all out. And but it takes a while. It takes years. And sometimes a character comes immediately, and sometimes they kind of have to reveal themselves. And May, you were talking to me one day and you started to tell me about your family. Yes, I have a sister named June. Wait, May, you have a sister named June. Yes, and she's a mime. Wait, your sister named June's a mime. Yes, and a really inconsiderate one. She picked the hardest occupation for a ventriloquist to say. Oh. And so, but those little tidbits just come up, or I'm thinking, and every character has to have a why. Like for instance, in my act, May's my roommate. Why is May my roommate? Well, we saw an ad on Craigslist and we became roommates. And May had to come from somewhere, and she's from Pocadella, Idaho, and she's always wanted to be a sugar baby. And I have the perfect line. Excuse me, do you need an executor for your estate? And so, but yeah, but it takes time. But here's the thing, it's a journey that's worth it. And sometimes I'm frustrated. Sometimes it can be a little frustrating because, I get writer's block, but a lot of writer's block, and I learned this getting an MFA in creative writing, is not so much the block, it's the fear of where the ideas can take you. And
Right.
so when you start to think of it as fear, then it becomes a little easier.
Welcome back to IGMP TV. I'm your host, Isaiah Grass, introducing great media people like you on the Isaiah Grass Show. April, you have performed all over the place, from comedy clubs, cabarets, dinner theaters, casinos, and Las Vegas resorts. When you're on stage or on TV, what song or puppet character have you noticed people request from you the most? And what is your favorite song to do? I know you create music of your own as well, so let me know ideas.
Actually, people have asked us to perform Mr. Sandman together because whenever we perform at a casino, because we have released Merry Christmas. I'm so glad I didn't marry you. You're working on That's the Way It Is, May, but we sing Mr. Sandman. And one time, May and I were singing Mr. Sandman in a show, and this guy is really drunk in the front row, and May is singing, and he stands up and screams, "Oh my gosh, the puppet sings!" And I say, "Of course the puppet sings. This is Las Vegas, duh."
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right?
Like I tell my sugar daddies, that means your money.
So let's talk about your book, Don't Read My Lips, which you wrote about the secrets of being a successful ventriloquist. How long did it take you to write this? And what challenges did you have to face along your career, which helped you to know what to do and what not to do to be successful? I feel this is so important because people who are aspiring ventriloquists or wanting to be like you, I would love for them to be able to know what you've had to go through to be where you are today.
I have tried to quit before. That's the funny thing. I've
Oh,
always tried to quit. And well, not always, a few times, because things were hard. I left my fiance, I was on my own, I was doing shows wherever, and every young comic gets, the door shut in their face. And
right.
coming up is hard, okay? And that's why anybody that makes it to a certain level or makes a career out of it, even if I don't like their material, I respect them because I know the work that goes into it.
Hmm.
So the thing is that my mom was begging me to move home at one point, but this has always pulled me back in, and I can't tell you why. And one of the times I tried to quit, I had a dream with the old clown Emmett Kelly, the one pushing the broom in the circus, and he says, "Don't try to quit, kid." And so I'm like, "You talk," but anyway, that teaches you not to take NyQuil before you go to sleep ever. But anyway, the point is that this has always been my destiny. I feel, and no matter what I would have done, I would have ended up at this point. And you know what? I'm glad I did. And I'm glad I didn't quit. And the things that kept me from quitting were I was going to quit and then I had a good show. I was going to quit and then all of a sudden opportunity happened. Or I was going to quit and all of a sudden somebody gave me a pep talk. But the way May and I ended up on My Strange Addiction, and I was actually going to quit the week before I had a meeting that changed my life. And May, you can help me tell the story.
Thank
Wow.
you. Hello, Isaiah. You're just as cute as I remembered you being a few minutes ago.
Hi, beautiful. How are you?
I know. Hello.
So anyway, May and I was telling him about how we got on My Strange Addiction. We were street performing in Brooklyn. Yeah, we were actually working for a flea market. So my hand was really cramped.
April had been performing ventriloquism for 5 hours in the heat.
Yeah, 5 hours in the heat. Yeah, I called it Olympic ventriloquism. But anyway, so this handsome man comes up to us with a camera and wants to take my photo.
And I said, I'm ready for my close-up.
So he takes our photo, and I'm telling him about my ex-fiance, the one that made me choose between him and the puppets.
And I said, April, you never tell the guy about your ex, you dummy.
Well, anyway, he said, I understand. My girlfriend doesn't always understand my camera. And so I heard girlfriend, and I was heartbroken.
But Isaiah, it only made me work harder.
So anyway, long story short, a year later, ring-a-ding-ding, the phone rings. And it's a woman. He says, hi, I'm a producer for My Strange Addiction. Is it true that you left your fiance for your puppets? And I said the relationship had a lot of other problems, that being one of them. And she said, well, our casting assistant's boyfriend took your photo a year ago in Brooklyn, and we were looking at it, and he was talking about meeting you.
And I took the photo and I said, yes, it's all true. It's all true. Where do I have to go? I'm ready for my close-up.
And that's how it started, right?
Yes. And so, but the good news is we didn't quit, and we haven't quit, and we just keep going. And
We're going to take over the world.
April, it was a pleasure having you on the Isaiah Grass Show and learning more about who you are and seeing your talents as a ventriloquist. We have a very special surprise for anyone who wants to follow what you do. IGMP TV Network is now streaming your videos on Roku, Apple, Amazon Fire, and our media outlets for everyone to enjoy. You can also follow April Brucker on social media, visit her website, or watch her on Strange Addictions. If you'd like to be a guest on the Isaiah Grass Show, please visit IGMPTV.com or IsaiahGrass.com. You can email us at media@IGMPTV.com, give us a call at 916-520-4020, or follow us on social media at IGMP TV Network and Isaiah J Music. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I'm your host, Isaiah Grass on IGMP TV, introducing great media to people like you, and you're listening to the Isaiah Grass Show wherever you are. Talk to you later. Bye.